Well, you can turn to the book of Proverbs. Nowhere particular at this moment. You turn to Proverbs. We've been studying, doing a work study, so I'm going to ask you some questions this morning. You better be waiting, better be ready. I know you got all the answers, because I don't have them. So we've been talking about a simple-minded person. So I'm going to ask you, I'm going to do one or two, and then we're going to ask you some questions about looking at these verses as we try to determine what does a simple-minded person mean? What does the word simple mean? You can look at the verses, and I'm going to ask you questions, and hopefully you'll be able to look at the verse and say, well, this is what the verse is saying. A person that has a simple mind. So let's turn, I believe, in Proverbs, I believe this is where we left off. I don't think we covered Proverbs 132 last time. Turn there. Proverbs 132, and what we're doing a work study, and I'm showing you how to do a work study. Basically what you do is, if you're wanting to study a word and find out the meaning of that word, then you'll look up the word that you're wanting to study, whether it be the word propitiation, hail, simple. Then you'll want to look up every occurrence of the word in the Bible, starting with the first one, going all the way through, and writing down what does the verses say about that particular word. And you'll find out that sometimes there's several different meanings. Proverbs 132, by the way. Just like there's several words to the word ball. You might say, hey, we're going to the ball. Well, that would be a dance if you're going to a ball. Somebody might say, throw me the ball. Well, you certainly don't throw a dance. That's a ball that you catch. Somebody might say, we're going to the ball game. That's where they hit the ball. And we're having a ball, and so that's where we're having a great time. So the word can have several meanings, that's for sure, based on the context of what you're talking about. But here in Proverbs 132, we haven't looked at this, but we have been seeing a lot of different things about a person who has a simple mind. And that is not something that basically we need to have for the most part, in most of the context found in the Word of God. There's a couple of contexts where, yes, the Bible does tell us to have a simple mind concerning some things, and we'll cover those as we get to them. But in Proverbs 132, let's see here. It says, for the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. Now, if you look at the context, and actually here you're going to read from verse 24 all the way down to 33. This is talking about those that are proud and that have been prosperous will be destroyed, even by those that have a simple mind. Is that saying that there's even something worse than having a simple mind? That's being proud and prosperous, and that you're proud of. You become proud in your thinking. So a proud man can even be destroyed because he's so gullible and he's so naive that, hey, nothing's going to happen to me, and nothing's going to happen to my barns, and all my wealth, I'm going to have it forever. And then a simple person can be can come along and steal what he has, can take what he has, and it can be lost in the moment, even by a simple man. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. So that was what I saw there, is that a simple person is not the worst than the proud. And so therefore, certainly we shouldn't be proud. We certainly should be simple-minded as well. Well, look over at Proverbs 7:7. Proverbs chapter 7, verse 7. And we'll read there. Proverbs 7:7. We'll look at verse 6 too. For at the window of my house I looked through my casement, and beheld among the simple ones, I discerned among the youths, a young man void of understanding. This here, if you look at verse 7, it says, behold, among the simple ones, I discerned among the youths a young man void of understanding. This here is a woman, or wisdom, is looking through the casement of her house, if I'm not mistaken, and for at the window of my house I looked through the casement, which is the casement around the window, and beheld among the simple ones, I discerned among the youths a young man void of understanding. And so this here in verse 7, I believe you can see, says the simple keep company with those who are lacking in understanding. This is a person I discern among the youths, a young man void of understanding. So this simple person was hanging out or keeping company and had the friends of those that were lacking understanding. Well, that's not the best of people to be hanging out with, people that are lacking understanding. And so we ought to be careful of the company that we keep. And the simple person, he or she has no problem keeping company with those that have no understanding. In fact, they'll agree on a lot of things because one is simple-minded and is not learning and is easy to lead astray, as this verse shows. It says the simple here, we can see that they're easily led astray by those that are void of understanding, that have no understanding. So again, we see a couple of more definitions of a person that is simple. They keep company with those who lack understanding, and they're simply led astray. They're led astray by those who have no understanding. Now look at Proverbs chapter 8, verse 5. We're going to let you look at one, and as we read it, I want you to be looking at it because I'm going to let you tell me what it means. In Proverbs 8, verse 5, says, O ye simple, understand wisdom, and ye fools, be ye of an understanding heart. Read it again. O ye simple, understand wisdom, and ye fools, be ye of an understanding heart. And someone tell me, if you think about it there a second, what is that verse telling us about a simple person? And if you don't worry about being right or wrong, what do you learn from that verse? It says, O ye simple, understand wisdom, and ye fools, be ye of an understanding heart. Hannah?
That the simple needs to have more wisdom.
It says, the simple, oh, ye understand wisdom. That's right. A simple person should be understanding wisdom. That's what it's saying, that they need to understand wisdom. That's very plain. In the very first phrase there, it says, oh, ye simple, understand wisdom. So you would write down, if you was writing this down, is that the simple person needs to understand wisdom. What else do you get from that? Well, let me help you out a little bit. I'll just ask you the question. Who is the simple lumped together with? Look at the verse and read it. O ye simple, understand wisdom, and ye fools, be ye of an understanding heart.
The fools.
The fools. They're lumped together in the same basket. A simple-minded person and a fool. They're one and the same. They are a person that lack understanding. Therefore, if it says here, O ye simple, understand wisdom, that shows you, and as it says in the end of that verse, ye fools, be ye of an understanding heart. They need to certainly understand wisdom and have an understanding heart, but that's because they don't have wisdom. So therefore they need to learn wisdom. Now look over at Proverbs chapter 9 in verse 4. Here's another one. I want you to try to do this one. Proverbs chapter 9 verse 4. Let me get there. Let me see. Here we are. It says, whoso is simple, let him turn in hither. As for him that wanteth understanding, she saith to him. Whoso is simple, let him turn in hither. As for him that wanteth understanding, she saith to him. Now I'll give you a clue that this is wisdom that is talking. When it refers to she, it's talking about she being wisdom. Like it says in verse 1 in chapter 9, wisdom hath builded her house. She hath hewed her out 7 pillars. She, talking about wisdom, hath killed her beast. She hath mingled her wine. She hath also furnished her table. She hath sent forth her maiden. She crieth upon the highest places of the city. Whoso is simple, let him turn in hither. As for him that wanteth understanding, she said to him. So what do you learn from that verse about the simple? Hannah?
That a simple person is supposed to be searching for understanding, trying to turn to understanding.
Okay. A simple person is supposed to be looking for understanding, looking for wisdom. That's where they're supposed to turn to. What else? What is wisdom asking the simple to do?
To turn to her.
To turn to wisdom. So wisdom is inviting the simple-minded to enter into the house of wisdom. That's what wisdom is doing, saying, enter into my house. Up here in verse 1, it says, wisdom hath builded her house. So wisdom is inviting the simple person to come and to learn and to gain understanding. And so that's what wisdom is doing. The simple, it says also in this verse, needs to be taught. That's why wisdom is inviting the simple to come in, to teach the simple-minded person knowledge and so forth. Now, look down at verse 13. This is a contrast, so that's a key, which is just the opposite. Verse 13 of the same chapter, it says, a foolish woman is clamorous, she is simple, and knoweth nothing. Well, what does that teach us?
A person who is simple is foolish, and they don't know anything.
It says that a foolish woman is clamorous, she is simple, and knoweth nothing. It's very plain. I mean, that should be very simple. A foolish person is simple, and one who knoweth nothing. Simple person is also one who doesn't know to keep their mouth shut. It says a foolish woman is clamorous. It means they're loud, they're boisterous. They run their mouth. That can be either a man or a woman, by the way. But this here is talking about a woman in particular. It says a foolish woman, she'll just run their mouth and run their mouth and run their mouth. And she is simple and knoweth nothing. Now, look at verse 16. 16. Again, it says, whoso is simple, let him turn in hither, and as for him that wanteth understanding, she saith to him. Now go back and look at verse 4. It says the same words almost. Whoso is simple, let him turn in hither. As for him that wanteth understanding, she saith to him. There's only one word different there. Verse 16, whoso is simple, let him turn in hither. And is the difference. Is the one word that's the difference. And as for him that wanteth understanding, she saith to him. Now who's doing the speaking here in verse 16?
Wisdom.
Wisdom was back in verse 4. Who's doing the speaking here? It's okay that you're wrong. That's how you learn. So what you have to do is look back up, say who is talking here. Does anybody know? Look up a couple of verses before, 2, 3, 4 verses. The foolish woman. The foolish woman is the one doing the speaking. So up in verse 4 and verse 1, we had wisdom that was crying out. It was wisdom that was doing the speaking. In verse 13, a foolish woman is the one doing the talking. And what is she doing? Remember, this is the same exact words. Verse 16 is the same exact words that verse 4 said. The exact words except for the word and. So what is happening here to the simple?
They're listening to the foolish woman.
Right? They're being invited. Just like wisdom invited the simple into her house to learn. Well, the foolish woman also invites the simple in to tip. Okay, you see that?